This is episode 1 of many. I am your host, Joseph McMahon. Obviously, you know that. And what are we going to be talking about this episode? First of all, thank you so much for being here. This is our episode 1 of many. And I am Joseph McMahon, the Fearless Mentor. What are we going to be talking about in this podcast? Now, we have a lot to cover on podcast number 1, but I want to make sure that I don't waste your time. If this is your first time here, welcome. Obviously, it's your first time. This is the first podcast ever. 3 topics, man. Why did we get into YouTube? Why did we make a podcast? Number 2 is going to be, what do the future podcasts hold? And number 3, what are the release dates? Now, the release dates for the next 6 months are going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 Central Time. That is going to be Texas time. If you live here, it's going to be 5 a.m. Now, this is a freaking trip, bro. The reason why I got into YouTube was mainly because of the fact that I was traveling so much and doing so many things around the United States. I one day just got in my car. I quit my job. I actually had 2 jobs at the time, and I quit them both after I had saved up a significant amount of money. Couple grand. I didn't have a lot of money, but I was living out my car. I wanted to travel United States because I realized, man, what am I doing here? I wanted to have things done that I just hadn't done before. I wanted to get my values up. I wanted to get my morals up. I just wanted to do something different. And what I was doing at the time didn't really match what I wanted to do. I didn't want to sit in a desk my whole entire life. Obviously, a lot of us have to do that. But at 21 years old, I knew that I hadn't lived any life yet. And I just never really went after anything in my dreams. I was never really good at many things. Whenever I did something like football growing up in sports, I was a little bit better than average. Now, I think I really had the potential to be really good, but I never really put myself out there. I never really gave anything that I ever did my all. And that is what this podcast is going to be about. Just becoming a better man, a better human, leveling up as much as we possibly can. What can we do? And what are the mistakes that I made along this? Not only that, what are some of the stories? I love listening to podcasts that have stories in them. It just makes it feel like you know that person a little bit more. I know that we're going to be becoming friends in this. Now, a lot of us struggle with, having a friend that we're growing with. Now, I am blessed to have that in my life, but really listening to podcasts, I always felt like whenever I was listening to someone like maybe Jay Shetty or the list goes on, people were so high up there that I almost couldn't relate to them. And being a small creator at the moment, I feel like I have millions of subscribers, but not yet. Right now, we have 500 subscribers. You can honestly relate with me a little bit more. I'm 26 years old. I live in San Antonio, Texas. That is just a little bit of background. And what the future podcasts are going to be about is just mainly about stories, real life setbacks, what things that I had done in my life that I actually feel like helped me grow most in life. And number 3 is what does the main goal about all this? Now, I have it written down here. My goal in life is just to become my better self and have you become your better self as well along the way. Now, are we where we want to be at in life? Absolutely not. That is the reason why you're listening to this podcast. We're going to get better and better and better each and every day. Hopefully that is the case. Now, there's going to be some days, man, where we're going to have to take a step back or 2, but that's okay. That is called that slingshot effect. We're going to be shooting and going as far and high as we possibly can, because sometimes in life, if you're listening to this podcast, you know that you want to make yourself better. Sometimes we don't feel like we're doing enough, we're achieving enough, and that is perfectly okay. That just means that you're an overachiever. We're going to make sure that we become the person that we want to be at the end of this pod. Now, some of the goals about this podcast is that I want you to feel like you have a friend. I want you to feel like you have somebody that you could talk to. My DMs are going to be open. My YouTube is going to be open. My comment section is going to be open. My Gmail is going to be open. And anything that you have, I want you to feel like you have someone that you're going with along this journey. Me and you are part of this journey that we're going to be getting ourselves better through staying fearless. Also, our last goal in this is not only for us to become better, not only for us to grow, not only for us to become the person that we want to be in 5 years and making that self, reachable and attainable. We also want to get this podcast to the top 100 podcasts for self-improvement. Now, does that sound like a freaking stretch? Absolutely. But I feel like the Fearless Fam can make that happen. That is what we are going to be calling ourselves. We are going to be called the Fearless Fam. The fam that goes after everything in life, that helps one another, that just goes and shows up every freaking podcast to make sure that we're digesting this and what we're feeling and making sure that we become our better selves. And obviously, for men itself, why is it niched down to men? Why is it so on? Well, in life, I've done construction for over 6 years whenever I was doing blue-collar work. And there's a a big thing around men where sometimes we don't feel like we want help. Sometimes we don't need help. Sometimes we feel like we don't want to ask for help. But deep down, we're not where we want to be at in life. Everybody around us expects us to maybe provide for them, or our feelings always come last. Our self-improvement always comes last. The things that we want to buy ourselves always come last. We never put ourselves first. But what would happen if we actually made ourselves better? What would happen if we actually put ourselves first? What would happen if we actually got our weight under control? What would actually happen if we had our savings under control? What would actually happen whenever we had the ability to do anything that we ever wanted in life, because we finally have our mental health and our physical health and our soul and everything aligned, man, and just getting better each and every day, not drinking every weekend, not smoking every weekend, not doing drugs, not eating every single fast food joint that we see because it's the most convenient. Whenever we actually get disciplined, whenever we're actually going against something with life that is bigger than us, and making sure that we can actually have our hands open-handed and be open to having blessings come our way instead of not receiving them. That's just what this pod is going to be about, and making a community where we can actually relate with one another, and making sure that, yeah, there's going to be some of us that are further along of our journey. There's going to be some of us that are listening to this podcast that honestly will never freaking change. And we just want something to be motivated for the next couple minutes, and then we're going to feel stuck again. Hopefully that is not you. Hopefully the Fearless fam is not going to be, have this thing where, where we listen, but we don't gravitate, and we don't absorb, and we don't listen, and we don't achieve. That is the reason why every single podcast, we're going to just try to get better and better and better, man. So we went over topic number 1, which is why we started YouTube, why we wanted to achieve these things, and now why we have shifted to podcast. The reason why we're shifting to podcast is because of the fact that I don't want to put meaningful-less stuff in the world. There's a lot of stuff that just is very fast food, very not good anymore, man. And I was the dude that was posting a lot of this stuff. Really just like, I'm going to post something that I did, and hopefully I get gratification from this. But this podcast is mainly just about really doing research on my own self and books and so on, and also that I can just live my life trying to help you guys, helping us men level up, becoming our best selves, embracing who we want to be, and actually doing it, man. And I've done things in life where I didn't think that I could conquer, and could resonate with a lot of us, man. And what are things in life that you want to do that you haven't achieved yet? Let me know down in the comments, and let's see how we can actually make that possible. If you hit me up on Instagram, if you hit me up on Gmail and anything like that, I'm also going to try to make a podcast. Like, let's just say if you say, I'm struggling with this, what can I do to, make this better? I would try to make a podcast if a lot of people are asking about that. Okay, there's one person and 5 people are asking about this. Let's go ahead and let's make a podcast about this. What can I do? What are some of my personal stories that helped me overcome this? What was something that has helped me? And also, what am I reading that I haven't done yet and implemented in my life, but people say that this is the best thing for us? That is what I'm going to be doing. And I just feel like that is something that I should be trying to do with my platform of 500 subscribers. And that is just the reason why we're switching. That is what's going to be about the Fearless fam. Also, too, we're going to be doing giveaways. So you have to freaking subscribe, man. You have to give us a thumbs up. You have to leave a comment. What do you want the podcast to be about? Or like, what is a topic that you want this podcast to be in the future? What can we do differently to make sure that we are growing each and every day? Every time that you screenshot that you are watching this week's podcast and you tag us, the Fearless Mentor podcast on Instagram, we're going to repost that. We are going to be growing. We're going to be doing a giveaway every single month. I promise you that we will do that. Whether it's $10 to $15 on Amazon, every person that freaking subscribes, leaves a comment, throws a thumbs up, also gets on iTunes or Spotify, whatever one that you listen to, bonus points if you do it on both, and leave us a 5-star and comment, this podcast is freaking amazing and actually has helped me. Dude, we're going to do a giveaway. I will freaking record the video where I put everybody's name that screenshot it that they've done all these things and send it to me on Instagram. We're going to go ahead and do a raffle, and whoever wins, we will send you guys, the $15 Amazon or the $10 Amazon to you guys, whatever it may be. And just make sure that, it's a little appreciation. I know that it's not the biggest prize that's out there. We're not Mr. Beast yet. But yeah, bro, I'm more than happy to send that out to you guys. And yeah, man, I just hope that this podcast freaking does amazing and that we just bless people that want to be blessed, and we grow a community that just wants to be grown in terms of, bro, we're not going to be that old self anymore. That person that we're not proud of, we're not going to be that person anymore. That person that goes for small dopamine hits, we're not going to be doing that no more. We're going to be going for achieving great things for our families. And if we don't have kids yet, that whenever they do come to this world, that we are going to be able to bless them. We're going to give them the opportunities that we didn't get to have. And as a man itself, we're going to be so happy to be the person that we're becoming and the person that we are, bro. And we're going to embrace the journey, because this is what everything is made for, bro. We get to enjoy the journey, and we get to freaking get better each and every week, each and every day, in each and every podcast. So I hope that this resonates with you guys. I hope that y'all love the podcast. Let me know that you were here. Let me know that you were here and that you're part of this community. In the comments down below, say Fearless Fam. I'm Joseph McMahon. This is the Fearless Mentor Podcast, episode number 1. If you made it to the end, let us know. I love you guys. And as always, follow us on Instagram. Y'all know what we say at the end of the video. And if you don't, good, you're going to know from now on. As always, stay fearless. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace